Live from Kent 5, this is Great Day SA with Christina Guerrero, featuring Megan Alexander, Eileen Devis, and Paul Midelis with weather.
Welcome back, everybody. Joining me this morning is Luis, of course, executive producer Luis, Ron, and relationship expert Dr. Becky Whetstone. We're talking about relationships at work because Luis wrote a very interesting article about how relationships do not work. I say that they can work. Ron says that they can work as long as boundaries are made up front. So we decided to come to you and ask you. Now, you sent over some really interesting notes that I wanted to talk about. And one of them was instant gratification. First of all, thanks, Becky, for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Instant gratification.
Yeah. That's what this is about. It's like, and I see this all the time with my clients. And what happens is people see something, they want it, and they want it now, and they don't want to wait. That's what gets us into credit card debt. That's why we eat too much. It's like why you buy the guinea pig at the pet store that you don't need. You're like, oh, it's so cute, I want it, you buy it now. But then you don't think about all the care and thing that's going to be involved down the line. Mm-hmm. So this is one of those things. You see somebody at work, she's cute. There's all sorts of complicated factors about why maybe you should not do this, but it's there, it's attractive, you want it, you take it, it's instant gratification. And unfortunately, Louise, it is, and I hate to be cruel, I don't want to be too brutal, but it is a sign of emotional immaturity to not be able to
we know this about Luis already.
It's a sign, to be able to know that there's a lot of negative consequences involved, but to do it anyway is a sign of emotional immaturity.
I'm gonna pipe in just really quickly and just play devil's advocate. Let's say I'm a romantic. Not really. Let's say I'm a romantic, but you can't really help who you fall in love with. And the fact that you work with these people on a daily basis and you work with them more than you see them more than you see your family or your friends, you can't help who you fall in love with. If you have that connection, if you have that, then why not explore that and
you sound so romantic, but so naive, so naive.
Well, she's saying that she's in love with me.
Here's the thing. When you said you can't help or control who you fall in love with, alarm bells went off in my head. I'm like, yes, you can, because love is a choice. Mm-hmm. Bottom line, love is a choice. And yes, you may be attracted to somebody, but we all have the control over whether or not we act upon that attraction and what we do with it. And at any point, if we're mature people who can make wise decisions, and we look at a relationship that has danger potential, we can choose to not do it.
Is there
I'm throwing a wet blanket on your whole romantic parade.
No. I was gonna say, is there such thing though as so what happens with love at first sight?
I don't believe in love at first sight. I believe in attraction, chemistry at first sight. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any way that you can know if you love somebody until this thing has passed a time test. And I give a rough estimate of about a year, but, I don't know.
Now, for the relationships that have worked, people have met at work, what do you say about that?
Yeah, because there are a lot of people. I could probably walk through our newsroom and pick out people that have met at work and have made it work.
And do you think that has to do with the relationship that those people have at work, how closely they work together or not?
Well, the ones I've seen, I've worked in places where it was not discouraged and it apparently worked. But when it works, it's usually because the people are on the same hierarchical level. Like if I was at the Express News, it was a reporter dating a reporter. It's not, really there's ethical questions about if it's a boss dating an underling. Now that's when you cause resentments in the workplace. People resent the person who's dating the boss. And if the person who's dating the boss gets any advantages, if they're all going to be suspect, it just creates a whole nest of problems. So, and the other thing at poor Luis, where you really went wrong was you were with a girl who was already with somebody. That's a you wrote it. You exacerbated the problem by being the other man. You were the other man.
So he started. Your problem is bigger than.
And he was her boss. He said you were her boss.
By the way, whose idea was this? What I'm going to say in my defense, I will say this. The article itself, obviously I wrote about this particular scenario because somebody had asked me that. At the end of the article, I did say, think about it twice. It can work, it may not work. It's my opinion alone. In that instance, definitely I knew I was wrong. And I knew it was wrong.
You had bigger problems than the fact that you were, I mean, she was engaged to be married.
Yeah, so I knew it was wrong at the time.
You learned your lesson. And just remember this, he who doesn't take Becky's advice pays the price.
Therapy session?
Well, what about people that know each other beforehand and then work together? Like people who have been either dating, married, those kinds of things, and then they start to work together.
Well, I think that's different. It's just when you have two people in the workplace and everybody's got their established relationships in the workplace. I mean, we know how people in the workplace talk. And the other thing is, truly, when you do start dating in the workplace, you need to consider the factor that it could threaten how you are seen as a professional. Because instead of people talking about what a good job you do or how professional you are, they're going to be whispering about, what y'all did Friday night. So it sort of changes the way people look at you.
Or you can be the complete romantic like myself and say it's absolutely okay to do that. No, I'm not going to
just remember.
If you quit trying to kiss me,
if you swim in the lakes full of crocodiles, you might get bit. Just remember that.
And on those words, we want to let everybody know that, of course, this article came out in City Pages magazine. If you have any opinions or any comments or like that, make sure you send us an email. We would love to hear from you at kcano@kens5.com. Maybe we'll read your emails. Maybe if you'd like to date Luis because you don't work here, maybe that might be a reason to call. Also, Dr. Becky, thank you so much for being here, marriage and family therapist. For more information, give her a call at 494-3834. And I hear you're dating somebody that you work with. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, everybody. Up next, Ron's giving away $5,000. Find out who's getting it right after this. Stay with us.